I mean, I think its presence, it's hard to encapsulate that in a short answer, because I think the importance of a space like Akoroko is so large, and the space to be filled is also very large. So Akoroko will be making the first steps of massive steps. As an African filmmaker, or a filmmaker making content about Africans, either in Africa or elsewhere, in this industry that we have now in the West, I'm automatically at the bottom of the list unless it's super exotic, unless I have 1 of 5 people in my film, unless I'm talking about some sort of American or Western person coming in to save somebody in Africa, and therefore, you know, the music swells up in the background and we get to feel great about like all the aid that we give to whoever. Unless it's about, you know, there's very specific topics and specific subject matter that has gotten not even shine, not even awards, but even just recognition, just bare recognition that anybody made anything in the past. And it usually has to have a white person involved, producer, director, actor, subject matter. It tends to be very white-centered and very Western-centered. So to have a space where we can celebrate work that is not Western or white-centered is enormous, because there's so much. Like, Hollywood hasn't even touched the tip of the iceberg. Like, there is so much. There's so much storytelling. And in the same way of music and culture and everything else, it all starts from the continent. Everybody knows this. I don't know why it's taken so long for us to just get with the program. And so, you know, it legitimizes, unfortunately or fortunately, it legitimizes the work that we do, to have our work spoken about. So I'm not just some chick from who knows where, some country that no one can really pronounce the name of, with some name that no one can really pronounce either, who apparently made a film, and everyone's sort of deciding whether they want to spend their 2 hours watching my film or not, because it hasn't been reviewed by Variety, it hasn't been reviewed by, it didn't win the prize at Venice or Cannes or wherever else. You know, like, the amount of films that are going to be able to make it to those spaces, those traditional gatekeeping spaces, are few and far in between, and it's not because we don't have good work, it's just because that's what gatekeepers do. And so essentially Akoroko is creating a gate that has a specific interest in non-white centered work. I mean, that in itself, I mean, just the sentence alone, I feel like we should just celebrate that, let alone the work that needs to come to actually create that. I mean, just the impact that film has, on everybody, youth, elders, you know, just our lives, the way that we live our lives, the way that we think of ourselves, our romantic ventures, our, you know, just how we place ourselves. Like, we've never been able to decide for ourselves how we want to show up in the world. It's always been, you know, for generations, people telling us what we should look like and be like and act like and all the things. You know, so to be able to create that kind of work and then have somebody and some place and some platform where we can actually uplift it and push it forward and shine a light on it, and just, you know, in this crazy digital world where it's so difficult to get space because there's so much happening, there's so many conversations happening all at the same time always, to be able to go to one reputable source to know, like, okay, these are the people who have their finger on the pulse and this is what they say, that is a major, major win.